Hi, this is Aleksandrs, Samoilovs, beach volleyball player from Latvia, and you are listening to A Space.
Hello, yes, it's that time again. It's time for the A Space. We are back in business once more with another episode with one of the world's best volleyballers. We can't help but bring you the best names in the game week in, week out. My name is Louis Letts, and I'll be today's host. On other occasions, it's Dave Rogers, but we will be always joined by either Matt or Dan from the CEV. And today we are joined by Dan again. Dan, how are you? How's Luxembourg going?
Louis, it's a nice, great sunny day here in Luxembourg, and I'm really excited for this podcast.
Are you allowed outside the house yet, even though it's a nice day?
In stints, yeah. We're starting to open back up here, for sure.
Awesome. So just let you know, these episodes are being recorded remotely. So Dan is in Luxembourg, I am in London, England, and our guest, just to give you a little clue, is in Latvia. These episodes are being released alternately with our unscripted and debate series, which will come out on a Friday. Our new co-host is an absolute weapon on a beach volleyball court, to say the least. First place on the World Tour, 2013-14, World Under-21 champion, Under-23 European champion, a European champion, going 3 Olympic Games. Is that enough? Can I keep going?
I think it's enough.
I think that's enough. Multiple-time Latvian champion. We have the Lion King himself here, Aleksandrs Samoilovs. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you? It's amazing to have you. Thank you for making the time to come on board today for 3 episodes.
Thanks for inviting, and thanks to everybody who is watching this episode.
Yeah, we're so lucky to have, at the moment, you're our 3rd beach guest, and I just don't know how we're going to keep topping the guests that we've got on the show. It's enthralling, and I'm learning so much every week by being on it. It's incredible. How's Latvia been over the past few weeks?
It's great weather, so we already for 2 weeks we are able to practice at the beach. So it's warm, green. I had the time, like 2 months, to do everything in my garden, because usually I'm traveling in summer all around the world and it's a mess. But now it's a time to spend more time at home, do all homework and a little bit different routine than I used to in the last 15 years.
Are there any particular things that you're really enjoying? I know that this is a really tough time for so many people. But is there any little bits of life that you're enjoying, being at home with the family maybe, or just something a bit different?
Actually playing PlayStation, because I was since I was 20, I stopped playing any video games. And during this quarantine, I just took from my friend that took PlayStation, and I was playing because my family, my wife and 2 kids, they stuck in Russia. They stuck for 1 month and a half. They couldn't get out. And because Latvia closed the borders, and Russia, because, we said Latvia is at least announced that in 4 days we will close all our borders, but Russia just stopped. And they stuck in Russia for 1 month and a half, and I was at home alone. So actually it was a tough time, because all this limitation, you have to stay at home. So I didn't have a chance to communicate with the friends, only by video chat. And so I was alone at home by my own. So maybe contacting a little bit with my neighbors. And so it was a tough time, but it was a time for maybe re-evaluating things in life, what is important, and to bring more value to the things that you have in everyday life. It's like when you're healthy, you never think about that you're healthy. So how cool it is to be healthy. So, and only when you get injured or you have some illness, you realize how bad it is when you have pain or you're injured, and how good it's just to be good, just to feel good and nothing special. So these small things, how they're important in your life, and how they're changing our life. And this coronavirus, I think, for many people, just to put the value to the things that we not realizing in our everyday life.
I agree. Dan, do you agree with that? I don't think I could have put that any better myself.
I was going to say, and so what you found that's important is PlayStation, right?
No. It was kind of meditation for me, because just to see. I'm reading books. I was studying, but So the kind of entertainment for me was, for sure, I spent like 2 hours every day on video calls with my family. Thanks God we have it. I don't know how guys like 30 years ago, how they were playing World Tour without Skype or other like Zoom and video conference, how they were being so much time away from their families. But yeah, PlayStation was a thing that just spending time, because your day, when you have your routine, when you work, you practice 2 times a day, so you have your routine and they just go one by one. And when you're doing nothing and you have to stay at home, okay, you do exercise. My coach was sending me every day what exercise I have to do, but I do them in 1 hour, and then just rest of the day, I don't know, like walking 50 times to my refrigerator, opening it. And,
I have this problem as well.
Yeah, especially like first week, because when all this crisis started, I know that I don't know how it is in other countries, but in Latvia, like all people from supermarkets, they full trolleys and just put inside all the food in the refrigerator, because not to go away. Nobody knew what's gonna happen, situation with the food. So my refrigerator never was so full like it was at the beginning of a virus, and it was all the time you're at home, and for sure you open, you close, and when you're doing something, I was studying, and then you study, okay, I make short break, and for sure first road goes to refrigerator. And then when and after 3 weeks, my coach said, okay, now you need to run cross for 30 minutes. So we start with 30 minutes and then improve every day, like more and more. And I was in the wardrobe, I was changing, putting like sports shoes, there's mirror. And I look at myself in the mirror. I say, no, okay, not 30 minutes today, I ran 45. Because where's my abs?
Yeah, you know, the abs have gone in quarantine. That's okay. My abs were gone before quarantine, mate. don't worry about that. They can come back. You can always get the abs back.
Lou, you're being modest. What was your run today? Come on.
I started running, so I'm trying to train for a marathon to try and do some good things for maybe some charities and then for myself as well.
Cool.
So,
that's good.
I'm also eating a lot as well at that time, but it's good because I'm losing a bit. The abs aren't there yet. I'm more worried about the chins.
Always the last one to go, though. It's always the last one.
You shouldn't worry, because you're not. Usually, you're not on a TV, so usually, like, you need to take care of your voice.
Yeah, I've decided though that it needs to be changed. I decided I need to be a bit more streamlined for sure. How are the family now? Are they home from Russia?
Yeah, like 10 days ago, Russia opened their borders. They said like foreigners and people who live outside of Russia, they can leave. But the problem was that my wife went by car, so I took her to Russia by car, and she had to get back by car, and but I couldn't enter Russia, so she had to drive pretty long, and I went to meet her to Estonia. I make like all the papers, and so I need to ride 7 hours, so she's not going so long way with 2 kids. So it was crazy trip, and now, because usually when you come from another country, you need to stay 2 weeks in quarantine at home isolation. So I did 2 weeks after Qatar, and now I have to do again 2 weeks.
Oh, just because you popped to Estonia.
Yeah, because I was in Estonia.
But they're okay. I bet they were happy to see you.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I'm just enjoying now. And I think it will be first summer since, I don't know, since I was 16, when I will spend in like at home, and maybe I can do some things I never was dreaming. Only that all the time I was thinking, okay, when I finish my career, I will do this. Like, for example, camping. Like all my friends, like since we were teenagers, at least 1 or 2 times in the summers, they go camping with the boats, with kayaking, with the camping. So I think this year, finally, I will do this.
Is there a lot of canoeing as well? You said kayaking, but
yeah, kayaking, canoeing. I don't know how to say correctly. Yeah,
no, but 2 different things: canoeing with the 2-handed paddle and kayaking with the
Yeah, we're doing more kayaking because we
Okay.
have one river with it's a river going through national park, and it's really nice. And I did it once, so I just came. I did kayaking with them down the rivers. Then they stayed for a camp, but I went for competition. And I remember it was Latvian championship, and I was 4 hours paddling, and then and next day I had to play, and my set was terrible because
It's
my
a good shoulder
all my
workout.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was shoulder, my biceps were like stiff.
just have to come out bump setting a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, it was so unprofessional from my side.
Maybe just a lesson. Maybe not a. Maybe just a lesson for you.
It's true.
How did you? It links us nicely with today, actually. Like getting to know you, and obviously looking a little bit to the future as well. But I sort of we want to get to know a little bit more about you. So when did you start playing? Like what was and I think I have a good idea why. Who's a big contributor? But why did you start playing and yeah, what age?
Since childhood, I was like I liked sports, like all the different sports. I started with swimming and with tennis. Then I switched to wrestling. And when I was 9, my neighbors they started to attend basketball classes, so I joined them, and I really succeeded in basketball in the first year, so I was doing really good. And then so I played basketball for 10 years, from 9 till 19, and at the same time I always did something different. Like I played soccer, and then I went for 2 years kickboxing. And then when I was 15, I started to play beach volleyball because my father, he used to be professional beach volleyball players. And he played last 2 years of his career. He played in Spain. And when he finished his career, he came back to Latvia and said, okay, now I finished my career. So now I will start coaching you. And first 4 years, I was from September till May, I was playing basketball, studying in school, and all summer I was spending at the beach. So for me, like 12 months a year, I was doing sport. And when we had training camps in basketball in the summer, I was doing basketball session in the morning. Then I was going to beach volleyball, playing beach volleyball, and coming back for evening session. So this for me was like two sports at the same time. And what is good things that since 15 years old, I was always playing with adults. I never played in junior clubs or like school. I started from my beginning, I was starting playing with adults. And when I was 19, I had to decide what to do. And my mom, she wanted me to study. So I was last year at school, in high school, I was preparing for study in medical school. So after school, I had training, and after training, every day, like not every day, like 5 times a week, I had four hours of biology and chemistry because I wanted to become a doctor. And when I finished my high school, I passed exam, and I went to under 20 European Championship,
Yeah.
and it was 2004 with Martin Plavins in Slovenia. And then my mom called me after 1 week, and she said, I got the documents, I got an answer from medical school. You got in, and you got a scholarship and a budget. So it was really good for me. And I had to decide, should I go to study medical school and play beach volleyball just as an amateur, or should I try to become a professional? Because that years my family couldn't, because actually if you look at beach volleyball from one side, it looks like very cheap sport. What you need, just shorts and the ball and the net. But from the other side, if you're born in a country like Latvia, when we have 3 maximum 4 months a year summer, so actually like to play on a high level, you have to go for summer every time. So it means that during winter time and spring, you need to go to the countries where you can play beach volleyball, and they're away. So it's huge expenses. So my family couldn't afford me to become a professional beach volleyball player if they have to pay for this. So the only chance was to get a gold medal underage championship. Then you get in the Olympic candidate, and then you get some support from a Latvian Olympic team. So I said to my mom, okay, I will go to study medicine and play amateur beach volleyball, But if we win under 20 European Championship, I will try 1 year. So because I will get for one
No
year, I will
problem.
get so I will get financial support for 1 year. I will try 1 year to become a professional athlete, and maybe the next year I will go study medical school. So put on a pause for 1 year. And then 2004 we won European Championship. Then next year 2005 we won World Championship under 21. So we were extended for 1 more year. And then next year we won under 23 European Championship. And then next year, 2008, we qualified for Beijing Olympics. That's how I become
Wow.
professional athlete.
At the time, like, was it sort of between you and the family, they wanted you to play beach volleyball, or?
Yeah, for sure. My parents, they get divorced, so I lived all my life with my mom. And with my father, I was more communicating only on beach volleyball court. And most of the time I spent with him was in training camps and beach volleyball court during summer at the beach. And actually, I was calling him coach. I never called him dad. I call him dad till the moment I started to play beach volleyball, because my father always said, because when I play with different partners, he always wanted to say, like, it's like when your parents are teachers at school. He said, like, I want to make separate. Dad is at home, but on beach volleyball court, I'm your coach. So you call me coach, and I'm not your dad. And that's why. And because we spend most of the time we spend on the court or training camps, so even then automatically, even at home, I was calling him coach. And so my friends were like, calling your dad coach at home? And it's like, how it's weird. I said, but it's, he put it so it's my partner always feels more comfortable when we are on the court. So it's not like 2 against 1. It's more like team and the coach. So it's like, so we are have better communication with each other, with my partner.
Wow, that's really interesting, and it completely makes sense in so many ways to take that pressure off the partner, and you can completely see why. Next question is quite funny. What would you be if you wasn't a beach volleyballer? But now we know that question. You'd be a blimmin' doctor.
Yeah.
Dan has a good question. This is a great time to say the one that you asked earlier on.
Okay, so I was wondering why Latvian beach volleyball, obviously has had a lot of success, both men's and women's, but the indoor side of things it hasn't been quite as successful in recent years. Do you have any ideas maybe why that's the case?
Because we're a small country, we have 1.8 million people in our country, and we have so many sports, and we have very strong basketball team. We have very strong ice hockey that already like 20 years in A division. Yeah. And so many individual sport, track and field, and just I think we don't have enough people. And because in the last 10 years basketball become really, really popular, because now we have, I think, 4 or even 5 players in NBA. So all tall guys.
Kristaps Porzingis, right?
Kristaps Porzingis is number 1, and Bertans. Yeah. So it's become so popular basketball that all tall guys they go to basketball, and it's an indoor volleyball suffer from this.
Do you not think that you could have been? Do you think you would have been a professional athlete in another sport? So you said like wrestling, kickboxing, basketball, like you name it, you played it. So did those other sports help you become a better volleyballer, probably, or and would you have made a professional level in another sport?
It's a tough question, because I think why is the main thing why I succeed in beach volleyball, because my father was my coach. What my father always said, that the difference between father coach and just a coach, that coach can just tell you to do exercises, but father coach can tell you and make you to do all these exercises. And I had some things and my father is really, really strict. If you watch Hollywood movies about Marines and these like generals who are like really, really aggressive with all these soldiers. So it was something like this with my father. And I remember one episode that I was doing exercise like really hard. So I was doing like mistakes, and she said like, do it like 100 times, and then 100 push-ups, 100 sprints, and 200 jumps. And like if we were losing. And then I was like I was 16, I was almost crying. So I would just run away from training. I came back home, and my mom said, your dad just called and said, until you don't get back to court, not to give food to you. And was like, oh, okay. And he just walked back to the court, to the beach. So it was, no, so it was pretty strict. And I think it was the main thing why I succeed, because I love sports, but to get to the highest level, you need like this small extra push.
Especially in a sport like beach volleyball, where it's so like skill based. It's so, you get out of it what you put in, right? Like it's so, you can't rely on your athleticism. You really have to have the skills to back it up.
Yeah, and it's also different because it's kind of team sport, and at the same time like individual team sport. So it's like in the team, I remember when I played basketball, so it's always, okay, today is one guy's fault because he missed last shot. The next day this guy didn't play in a good defense. Then our center got 2 early 6 fouls, and then the coach strategy was wrong. So it's always like easier, because in beach volleyball there are only 2 athletes. So human being, we always like, okay, I played bad, but you know, my partner, he could set me better, or he could make some aces. So it's like always when you're winning, it's easy, but when you start losing, it's always like this chemistry between 2 beach volleyball players. It's hard to build, and that's why I think like beach volleyball is like really hard sport because of this communication with your partner. Because when you're on your own, like in tennis, you just, okay, if you lose, you know it's your own fault, and you work only with your own. And beach volleyball, you always have to communicate and work together with your partner.
Where did, and how does, well, I think in the next episode, we're going to be talking a lot about your career of playing over a decade at the top level. So I want to try and save a little bit for that, because I have so many questions about how to get some of that excellence out of your brain. Where did the Lion King come from? Obviously, it comes from your Barnet. Barnet is an English word for haircut. But it's and who was the first person to call you the Lion King?
So probably, you know, Geeter. He was announcer for AVP for many years, and now he speaks to Lakers, I think, right, for post-match. And it was 2008 Beijing Olympics. It was one of the brightest experiences in my life. And we were first match against the United States. I was standing under stadium. And if you watch a movie, The Gladiator, when he's standing behind the gates to enter Coliseum. So it was the same. The doors are closed. You stay. We were after warm up. We were standing under stadium, and the vibes, like you feel the vibes and of music of a crowd, and then like gates opens, you enter, and it just hits you all like music. 12,000 spectators, DJs screaming, mascots running, cheerleaders dancing, everything is moving, bright colors, and you just feel like vibrations of this sound and energy coming from all these people. Like first ball, we warm up, I hit the ball, and then all the stadium like boom with my spike like screaming. I was like, what is happening? Yeah. And then we sit and they announce and just said, and now team from Latvia, #1, Aleksandrs, the Lion King, Samoilovs. And I was like, Lion King? Okay. So,
that's awesome.
But as I talked to him, he said, because you have like, I had not that long hair, a little bit shorter, but always I was screaming after I got points. So I was like roaring, and he's like, oh, it's nice thing. And it was a match against Dalhousie Rogers. And we won. And so after this game, like media were crazy about this game. And in Latvia, like all newspapers, because they were #1 in world ranking, and we were the last team who qualified for Olympics, the youngest one. We were both 23 years old. And so in all magazines and posters, they put, and you know, how it is with media. They just took this Lion King and put it everywhere. That Lion King roaring in Beijing and stuff like this, and so the media started to use it all during all Olympics. And also my name is Aleksandrs Samoilovs. It's pretty complicated for foreigners to pronounce. So then on the world tour, even some players, because they don't know how to say my name, so it was easier for them to say Lion King. And so players on the world tour started to call me Lion King. And I think now, like maybe especially women, I would say like 80% probably know my nickname, but don't know my real name. I would say.
I have the same issue. My nickname in school, this is not as flattering as the Lion King. My nickname in school was Piggy, like a little pig. So it was bad. And now my goddaughter still calls me like Piggy or Uncle Piggy. So as much as there's only 4 people in the world that call me this nickname now, it used to be a lot more, but my close circle of friends still call me Piggy. Why? Because I actually walked out. I was actually a really quite athletic kid. I was playing lots of sport, but I came out of the canteen with 2 toasties and probably something else hid in my armpit or something, to go play sport. Somebody called me Piggy, and then boom, my whole school life, and then it stayed. Yeah, it's still there. It's
one of those school nicknames that just clicks and then
crazy. I had in my school, I had the nickname Elvis, because on a New Year, I had a little bit longer hair, and on a New Year we were doing some dancing, not competition, some on a stage in the school, and I was we had the topic 60s 70s music, and I was dressed as Elvis. And so I was dancing. We had it was really good. It was all our class did really, really good one. And so afterward, all my school started to call me Elvis. And then after 3 or 4 years, people thought it's my real name. They said Elvis is my real name, because everybody calling me Elvis.
Traditional Latvian name, Elvis.
Or also, I think maybe Latvians are nicer than British people. The other name I had from my friends, again, they're great people. They're still my core friends in life. So, and it's as bad as everybody else. So I give them as much abuse as they give me. The other one I got was Melon Head, because I got a head like a melon, like a big round head. So yeah.
But sometimes it seems with British friends that the meaner you are, the better friends you are sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I hope that's the case, because I'm also pretty mean to them with certain things at times. So it's the way that it works for sure. What's LK? I'm calling you over chat this week. What's your main hobby outside? So let's go from nicknames to hobby. What's your main hobby outside of the sport now? PlayStation.
No. It's a short time hobby. It was I wouldn't say it's hobby. It was just killing time. So now my family is back, and number one hobby for me now is Lego constructor, because my kids playing all the time Lego, and I'm playing with them. So putting all this constructor together. But main hobby is reading. I really like reading, and it's because I'm pretty emotional person, and after trainings and especially during competition, just my emotions just going to all sides, all around, and just to stay focused, to stay calm, and through the reading, it's kind of meditation for me. So when I read, I calm down, I sleep better, and I play better.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. Quite emotional and reading and taking time out to do that sort of stuff and learn. Yeah, if I'm learning or reading or something, it takes my way. Yeah, it separates everything for me. I'm the same. That's interesting. Just quickly, was it Call of Duty that you were playing on PlayStation?
Pardon? What?
You were playing Call of Duty on PlayStation?
No.
Oh, I love Call of Duty.
Everyone's gonna come out of this podcast just being like,
yeah, I'm just are you playing Call of Duty? What do you think? Or firstly, how do you want to be remembered as a player? If when this sort of career, I think you can go on for so many more years now, but when it's all over, what do you want to be remembered as?
For sure, like every player, when you play, you want to be remembered as the best, like to perform the best. But sometimes you can't do because it's sport, and gold medal is only one, and there is thousands of athletes who want to get this gold medal, and I just want to put everything I can and do maximum what I can get out of my body, out of me, out of our team, and just to stay in the history and to, I don't know how to say it, to put a mark in the history. I already put it in the history of Latvian beach volleyball for sure. I think like when there will be books about beach volleyball, for sure my name will be there, and in the world we will see. Still a few years of my career, still many things to do, and still many medals I haven't achieved yet, but I'm still going for my dream.
What would you say the dream is? Olympic gold? Still very achievable.
Olympic gold for sure. Olympic gold, yeah, it was number one. Since when I was 7, there was one moment in at home. My father came from work, and I was like really sad, and my mom was really angry, and he asked what happened. It's like, look at your athlete. Like there was in Latvian in the school, a teacher Latvian language asked who want to go to Olympic, but it was like language Olympics. I was like first in the class. I was like, but I was terrible in Latin because I came from a Russian family, and so and the family at home we speak Russian, so my Latin wasn't really good. And when she asked like who want to go to Olympics, I said like I raised my hand, but it was like language Olympics. So,
I like that about you. Like what I'm learning is like you've got this incredible work ethic about you, and this incredible like ability to keep pushing limits, and this work ethic and learning, and
but I think it's like the only you enjoy when you realize you did maximum and the best you could. So even if it's like you get 17th in a regular like city competition, but comparing to your own results, that's what I also saying on Instagram to my followers, that it's not so important maybe to have like really good result comparing to other. It's better to compare with yourself. Like, okay, you start now, you run 10 kilometers in 1 hour 30 minutes, and compare with yourself, compete with yourself, and do it, like improve. Okay, now I did 1 minute 15, then 1 hour 15, then 1 hour, then 50 minutes. Okay, if you go and run with professionals, your 50 minutes, you will be maybe like 2000 or even less. But comparing to you, if you go to competition and run in 45 minutes, but your best time before was 50, you will feel amazing. And it's the way how people should look into sports. Okay, you look to a professional athletes like highest level, but these guys spend 24 hours to achieve these results. And for you as a regular person, just compete with the same people like you, your friends, or with your better even with yourself. Like improve your results, and you'll have all these positive emotions.
Yeah, I'm loving
that. Is this motivating you to go for a run after this?
Oh mate, I went this morning. I was out at 6:30 a.m. But I am taking like 100% that at the moment, just competing with myself. And I've always played team sport. I've always been pushing for a place, and I'm always like looking over my shoulder. And it's actually quite refreshing I did a boxing match as well once. And the boxing and the running are the two things where I'm just like, it's me. Like it's all about, and it's the same with all sports, right? Like the mindset doesn't change. It's just your perception of it.
Well, it's a good idea too, because as Louis, you and I both played sports pretty seriously in our youth, but dropped off a lot sooner before the professional level, right? So we still need to compete with people. We still need to compete with ourselves, but obviously the professional dream isn't happening. But I think that's a really good message to people.
I still find the same in the career that I do now, like whether it's commentary or punditry or anything like this, is like it's exactly the same. Like I just try and do my best, and you might like it, you might not like it. For me, I can't control that, but I can sort of control the things like working hard and getting to know stuff and being curious. I like that. It's really, so far I'm feeling pretty inspired today, Lion King. I'm enjoying it. What's the plan after you finish? Like whenever that is. I mean, you look at the likes of Hayden, you look at the likes of Manuel, you look like guys going into their like 40s and higher. Like, how long do you see yourself playing for, and how long do you and what do you see yourself doing afterwards?
I will see. I will try to play as long as I can win, because I like winning and I hate losing, and I'm pretty competitive. I'm a very competitive person, and all my friends know this. I'm crazy about bets. Also, like if we make bets with my friends, like normal friendship, till the bet is over. And so I will play it till the moment I'm able to win. And so after it, I will see. I'm trying like to be prepared, but not to stay too much in my thoughts around the things around beach volleyball, because now for me beach volleyball is primary. But I already do a project that named Beach Box Camps. I'm organizing camps in beach volleyball camps for beginners, amateur, like different level people, men, women, different ages, and it's growing pretty good. And now, because my season is pretty long, so I can do camps maybe 3-4 a year maximum, and it's October till March maximum, depending on calendar. And we started only with Latvia with 24 people. Last year we did in Spain, 31 countries with 220 people. So it's become really, really big project. And the idea of my project is to bring professional athletes, so highest level. So all coaches in my camps, they're Olympians, World Tour medalists, or coaches of these athletes. So it's like try to get highest level. And so for sure, I would like to continue this project, because I understood I'm not really enjoying coaching the same way I'm enjoying playing beach volleyball, but I really enjoy organizing. I like to organize event, and maybe I will, after a few time, I will switch not only from beach volleyball events, maybe other sport events, and maybe I will work in this part. And I have 3 educations. I have master degree in finance, I have degree in law, and currently I'm doing sports science. So
you have options.
I have pretty a lot of options, and try to save some capital, maybe for investments in the future, and do maybe something with real estate. And so we will see.
That's crazy, the amount of options you have. Also, I bet you, because it sounds like you're a betting man, that in 10 years I see you coaching on the world tour because you're so competitive. I can't imagine. I can imagine that when you stop competing, there's going to be something that misses the little bit of competition.
I will see, because my brother, he's 22 years old, and he just starting his first step in beach volleyball. And my father is already 60, so I don't know how long he can stay coach. So maybe I will try to help my brother for sure. And we see, but the bad thing about coaching, like when I'm playing on court, I'm controlling these emotions, I'm enjoying them. But when I'm outside the court, I become so stressful. I don't know, when I'm watching my brother playing, so I imagine if I'm a coach of a team, I don't know, I will have white hair, I think, in 1 month.
It takes
Because
time.
I'm really like so stressed.
That links us really well, because our feature to end actually links with your brother. I messaged him to say that you were coming on the podcast. And is there anything I should ask you about? Just
Okay, and he asked something, or?
Just because I know my relationship with my brothers, they're always willing to give information for stuff like this. He asked, we have one feature called the Blog Punch, where it's a bit of gossip from the world tour, and he's asked me to talk about what happened between you and Edgar's Toch, sharing an apartment in Hamburg at the World Championships. He said you've got a story for us.
No, it's not a story for a podcast CV.
You said it was. I said, are you sure?
Yeah, it was like
Give us the PG version.
I don't know how to say, but there was like
got you exactly where he wanted you.
because I think like Yanis is the best roommate. Like can be like he's like really good. He sleeps. I know like a lot of people know about Sorum, that Sorum sleeps a lot. So Yanis, I think he sleeps even more than Sorum. I think some competition he can sleep up to 16 hours a day. So, so he sleeps a lot. Like if a day without a 2 hours nap, if you like at least 1 hour nap, he will be so angry and annoying. And so he and like I go sleep late, and he goes usually like 9 or 10. So he sleeps a lot.
I guess it was the opposite.
And Yanis, he's not talking a lot. So in the room, what I really like I'm talking pretty a lot. When I'm on a world tour, I talk with other players. But when I'm in the room, I want to stay silent. I want to stay with my book, just to calm down and sort of silence. So it's always, there is no TV in our room, so no music. So it's always silence and my book. And Yanis is in airports watching some serials or movies. But with Edgar is talking a lot. And when he's in the room, he continues talking. And I said, Edgar, please, I want to read a book. He said, okay. And I was reading and he's talking. He's just talking with himself all the time. And I'm like reading and it's like, oh, you can watch movie and talk, like commenting what's happening.
And you're trying to prepare for a game and then it's just chatting away.
Yeah, so it was like a little bit annoying. And then I talked with Plavins and said like, it's normal. So like that's why I'm always put headphones and
see, Plavins is quite a real like quiet guy as well, right? So like
yeah,
he's obviously
yeah.
just used to it. We have one more feature, is that correct?
Yeah, one more feature where we have a mystery guest coming on the podcast at a later date. So we're trying to get all our co-hosts to try and guess who this player is. So
I have a feeling that Lion King's going to get close.
Okay, so here's what we know so far about this player. By the way, Louis and I both don't actually know who this is. This is purely Matt Rogers is the only man who knows this. So maybe you can help us out. But this player plays indoor volleyball, has won the Champions League, 14 shoe size, right-handed, has won the European Championships and is most known for their spikes. And we're going to play the 7th clue for you right here, which I think is new for Louis as well.
Yeah, it's all new.
How many different clubs have you played for?
So he's played for 2 different clubs.
2 different clubs.
14 shoe size. He's won the European Championships.
14, it's how much in European?
You're asking the wrong person.
Big, I reckon.
Big, okay.
Big, he's got big feet.
Louis, what size are you? I'm size 10.
Hang on. I might have just had a breakthrough.
Okay.
But hang on, no, it can't be, because if he's won the Champions League indoors.
Yeah.
The problem is like I'm not really good in indoor.
Man, I'm pretty good in indoor, and this is hard for me as well.
I was gonna say Sokolov, but Sokolov has played for so many more clubs.
Yeah, Zenit Kazan, Lube, and Ankara at least, right? Probably more.
Any ideas, Aleksandrs?
I was thinking Yoandy Liao before he said he won a European Championships. But
Dan, thank you for coming on again, lending.
Thanks for inviting.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Dan is the biggest volleyball brain that I know. He's unbelievable. And Aleksandrs Samoilovs, you have been unbelievable, and I can't wait until the next episode that's going to come our way very, very soon. To our listeners, make sure that you subscribe, tell your friends, suggest a guests, and you can even send us those questions to ask the world's best. Remember, use the hashtag #LetVolleyballTalk, and then we're going to talk about volleyball for as long as we possibly can, as normal. From myself, Louis Let, the A Space, and CV, thank you for listening, and we look forward to